and gentlemen, welcome to the Keith Andrew Network. I am your host, Keith Andrew, and this is episode 475. That's right, this is episode 475. I am your host, Keith Andrew. Along here is the talented and beautiful Desiree Velez. I just want to say thank you for being a guest on my talk show.
Wow, thank you. It's my pleasure, Keith. Hi, everybody. Happy St. Patrick's Day.
Oh, likewise. And this is actually, you just reminded me, this is actually a special episode. It's a special edition of the Keith Andrew Network, St. Patrick's Day. That same format, but we'll have a little disclaimer on the box. Happy St. Patrick's Day to all my great Irish friends out there.
I tell you, I was originally born and raised in New York, and I really miss living there because it's a really big deal, St. Patrick's Day. And in the Washington, D.C. area, and equally I found in L.A., it's very subdued compared to New York. New York, there's a huge parade. People don't go to work that day. There's all kinds of performances and, musicians, authentic Irish musicians. I really miss that, which is odd for a Puerto Rican, but I will tell you, everyone's Irish on St. Patrick's Day.
They are. I'm jealous, too, so you can put
there
me in
that category. Mazel tov, Erin Gobra.
With that being said, the first thing I do want to promote real fast, because I'm trying to get people interested in backing my talk show and making merchandise. And if you're interested, these are only demos. I don't know why I said demos. One day I was at work, it threw me off, so one of those things. So first I have the official Keith Andrew Network hat. Right now it comes in like this, but the thing is, you can sit down with me and you can tell me, hey Keith, I'm not really a big fan of the red. Can you change it to blue? Can you change it to yellow? Can you change the black to the white? So I sit down with you and we can custom make this logo. Yes, it will have the Keith Andrew Network. It's backwards on my side.
Hey, it looks great.
Keith Andrew Network. It was supposed to be the circle, but they didn't have the circle, so I'm on. All right, what else do I like? Well, I dropped the hat. It's like, well, tell you one of those days. They have the badge. And I'm like, well, it's not really my logo, but it's kind of like, yeah, so certain things that I will have the badge or I have the big circle one that I use for. But soon to be available. Just let me know. I'm making a list of people who want to buy hats and everything. And if you're not a hat person, that's fine. Off camera, I do have a dog tag. Basically, it's just like a dog tag with a circle on it. And also, if there's any kids out there who want to say, oh, I'm a big fan of yours, can I wear your merchandise? Just do an impression. I know that was pretty terrible. But I am having, I hold it on life. Don't mind me. Take part.
Hey, one of my favorite colors, red. If I had known, I would have worn my Coffin 2 hat. We could have done a great, infomercial.
Yeah. Don't mind me. St. Patrick's Day. You actually, doing like this, you would think I'm drunk. So basically, for the long sleeves on a summer night, boo. I can't even talk. I'm a road trip. Anyway, on those cold winter nights, you can get a bundle up with the official Keith Andrew Network long sleeve shirt. And if you don't like red, like I said, this is the logo I was telling you about. This logo was supposed to be on the hat. Unfortunately, you can't have this logo on a hat, as far as I know of. So I said, fine, I will have the shield. But all my shirts going forward will have the Keith Andrew Network. Don't ask me why it repeats, but it has an echo effect. Keith Andrew Network. So that's right. So you're wearing the official Keith Andrew Network shirt. Don't ask me why it repeats. I was so annoyed at that too. So I just call it my echo effect. If you don't want the echo effect, it says Keith Andrew Network, and it has the year. And like I said, there's kids that want a certain color. if women out there want a certain color like you, if you would want me to make you a shirt, just tell me what color you want. I will sit down with you, and we can change this logo from black to whatever, change this from red to another color. I'm easy to work with. So once I get, well, I guess you can say this is the official kids shirt. So for the most part, yes, this is the official kids shirt. But also I do have a hoodie that's hanging up, but that's mine. I'm working on it, but I'm looking for people who want to invest in the Keith Andrew Network. I'm very serious about this. I want to do this until I die. But with that being said, that's not about me. This is about you. And starting off, for people who want to know what my talk show is about, the whole point of my talk show is to show people that even with having a learning disability, if you can pick that up, the whole point of my talk show is to show people that even with having a learning disability, I can still amount to something. And at the same time, I'm able to turn myself into an example for people out there dealing with any types of learning disabilities and disabilities to never give up and prove people wrong. Prove to them that labels do not dictate who you are and who you're going to be, and to prove to them you can break the labels. I'm just looking at my reflection and it kind of looks like I'm wearing makeup. I'm not wearing makeup and I kind of look like a clown.
No, you're fine. You're fine. No, but this is very interesting you say this because this is pretty much my mantra. In the world that we live in currently, and it's very sad to say with the current administration, labels have come up again and walls have been built. And I feel the country has stepped back a little bit in time. But I'm very proud of the next generation because they're coming out in droves from high school, not even able to vote yet, and letting people know we matter. We're more intelligent, more mature than you give us credit for. We know what we're talking about. And you're seeing these little uprises everywhere. And the more negativity that's coming out, the more positivity I'm seeing in people breaking those labels. I myself, as an actress, had to break through labels and tell myself the same thing. You don't determine the ending of my story. I'm the author. And how good this story comes out is based on what I put into it, what you put into it, what our human spirit, and I will tell you, just on YouTube alone, when you see countless individuals that have come over tremendous physical, psychological, all kinds of hurdles in life to just excel and go beyond the expectations that we would have never ever thought, even just as an average Joe. So it's my honor and pleasure to being on this interview with you. So go ahead, let's get started. What would you like to ask?
Well, I want your honest opinion because I was arguing with my dad over this and my certain other people I won't mention. If someone, I want your honest opinion as a woman. Would you have a problem wearing something like this? Just yes or no?
No, I like it. I think it's a nice T-shirt.
No,
it actually looks very official, and it actually almost looks like I'm union, and we have a lot of union people. And actually, Actors Equity has recently opened up a shop where they're putting their logo on. A lot of Teamsters for the unions that set up our craft services and our mobile homes and things wear T-shirts like that. Why not? The FBI has their T-shirt. Everyone has their own T-shirt. Why shouldn't you? Why shouldn't you advertise?
No, absolutely. And that's funny to say that. My dad calls me a walking advertisement. So he doesn't
that's what social media is for. Use it. Use it before we lose it. Hopefully not. Hopefully, we'll keep net neutrality so that people like you and myself can continue to produce shows that normally would not be able to be done because we really are not multimillionaires.
Right.
So what better way to reach vast numbers of people than through social media, as you're doing right now?
No, absolutely. But like I said real fast, every time I wear my shirt, my dad's like, "Oh, I see you're going to be a walking advertisement today." And me and my brother are wrestling fans, and we were saying, "Oh, you want to go to WrestleMania? You need to save up a couple $1,000." And WrestleMania is $1,000, but it's good because it's a week's worth. Because you go to Fan X, you go to the Hall and Fame induction, then you go to NXT, then you go to WrestleMania. You have Monday Night Raw and SmackDown. So, you get your money's worth. But what I don't like is people that tie my hands and saying you can't do certain things. He said to me, "If you wear that stupid shirt, I'm gonna leave you there in the city." And I'm like, "What? It's a T-shirt." "Oh, you're not supposed to promote yourself." "Okay, well, it's a conversation starter." "Oh, hey, buddy, I like your shirt." "Oh, thank you."
Look, let me tell you, Hollywood, anybody that, especially independent films, for example, my last film that I'm in a cast, I play Wendy, and I'm also associate producer. We did tons of posters. And at the actual movie theater, our first screening for cast and friends and family, we were presented with Coffin 2 hats. It was a nice black hat with double coffins. My very good friend and co-producer and fellow actor Johnny Alonso found somebody in Baltimore that produced amazing T-shirts, which, by the way, I still haven't gotten. It looks exactly like our poster. When I was in Mario Brothers years ago with John Leguizamo, Bob Hoskins, Fiona Shaw, Dennis Hopper, oh my gosh, the list goes on. There were a lot of great actors in there. You should see the T-shirts that we had. When it went and came out in public, then they had the action figures for a while that looked like the Goombas and looked like the little Mario Brothers. So you know what? Everybody does it, so don't feel bad.
No, that's actually, I was going to ask you the easy questions, but I tried opening your IMDb, but it wouldn't let me open it. It keep saying error. I didn't know you were in Super Mario Brothers. And
it's I started out in a drama class in high school, loved it. Then I progressed and went on to college. Then I went and I started doing theme park shows, singing and dancing, like at King's Dominion. Then I went on to dinner theater, doing all types of musicals, which seem to go on for 6 months or more. But it's a great training ground for anybody. From that, it still wasn't enough for me. So I went into actual legit theater in Washington, D.C. I did a number of shows. I was at the Studio Theater, Arena Stage, Washington Shakespeare Company, an intensive training program. We did a version of Midsummer Night's Dream at the Folger Theater. I did a really special show called Fat Men in Skirts at the Woolly Mammoth Theater Company at their old space, and I got nominated as Best Supporting Actress for Helen Hayes. I didn't win, but I tell you, just being nominated, just being able to prove to myself that I could do it, this 5'2" petite, Latin woman, breaking in and as other actors, crossing over was a big deal to me. I actually, just this past October, came back after not being on stage for like 10 years or more. And I opened up a show at Theater J. It was directed by Jose Carrasquillo, who actually remembered me from Fat Men in Skirts, and that performance floored him. So he said, "We got to get this girl I know, Desiree. She's still around. She can do this part." So the next thing I know, I'm in a Nilo Cruz play, and it's called Sotto Voce, and there were only 3 people in the cast. We did the run. It had great reviews, and what better way to come back? But I do gravitate to film, and I did a lot of episodic. Back when I was coming out, there was a lot of things shot in Wilmington, North Carolina. There was a studio there, and I was on the Matlock show. Can't remember what else, but it was several episodic shows there. Super Mario Brothers, I shot there an entire summer. They actually built inside an old cement factory, the entire city and set. So, we shot there. From that, I came back and I started doing a lot of the first episodes. For example, Oz. I was opposite John Seda with the opening pilot for Oz that just took off and shot a number of seasons in New York. There's a lot of stuff. If someone goes on my IMDb that you can find, but I have been very fortunate that regardless of where I am geographically, I have been able to get work in Philly. I have been able to get work in North Carolina. There was one episode of October Road that I was cast through the casting directors in North Carolina, the Fincannons, which are amazing people. We shot that in Georgia. And then Coffin 2, we shot that in L.A. And actually, the actual premiere that we went to was in Hollywood. So it's not easy, as you know. It's a struggle. It's a struggle. You finish one job and you're running that high, and then people are like, okay, what's next? I hate that question because I don't know what's next. Because it's not like a regular 9-to-5 job. And you may have one job after another, or you may go through this hiatus period, which I'm doing right now. There were a couple of films that I was expecting to be in, and they fell through. But, that's life. So now I have a couple of readings coming up. Once again at Theater J, we're doing a small reprise of Sotto Voce for a very special visitor there. And then we are doing a week of rehearsal and then a performance at the Kennedy Center for a show that's in development there. So I have that coming up. And I'm just kind of regrouping. I'm rebranding myself. I just got new headshots and stuff. I'm actually taking care of a new puppy right now. And so it's like having a child. So I really can't go too far because I'm trying to housebreak it. Every 2 hours, that puppy has to go out. But it's great. Even things like that you need because it keeps you grounded so that you're not always thinking about the work or appearances or marketing yourself or whether or not you didn't get that job. You have this little slice of life that just gives you a sense of normalcy and complete another utter joy and unconditional love. So I'm pretty happy right now, and I'm very happy talking to you. This is exciting. Is there anything else you'd like to know?
Well, what is your honest opinion about Super Mario Bros.? Are you allowed to give your honest opinion, or if that's an accurate?
Oh, yeah. Super Mario Brothers had immense difficulties. The original script was hilarious. But by the time I came on to set, rumor has it they had already been through 9 directors. They had fired 9 directors. And they had several writers that had rewritten things every time with each director. By the time I came on, there was a set of directors that were British. And I think, I'm not so sure this is true of all British people because some have amazing sense of humors. But I remember being there, and it was almost like a comedy episode in itself. Remember being there trying to explain to the director the term like white on rice. So he says, I don't understand. It's not funny. I don't understand what it means. What does that mean, like white on rice? Can anyone explain to me what rice is white, but why? So here I was, still with in my thick New York accent because I had a much stronger accent back then, trying to explain like white on rice. That's what's so funny because there's such an abundance of white on rice that when he's comparing what he's going to do to you with the amount of white, like white on rice, you get it? Do you not get it? And I don't know if he ever got it, but he kept chopping out funny lines because he didn't get the American humor or slang. So I felt in that respect, it suffered. We did have one setback where there was a huge accident. There's a flying mattress through the air, and something didn't work. The brake didn't work, and it just flew upside down. And we were hanging upside down several stories in the air, being held by just seatbelts. The amazing guys that were a team of not understudies. Oh my God, I'm going blank. Stuntmen were the ones that were able to grab a hold of this thing and keep it from swinging out again and us going over.
Right.
Most of us ended up in the ER that day. Luckily, nobody was seriously hurt. But, you know, there were many little things like that that kept setting shooting behind. But ultimately, it was put together. But I feel the movie could have been much, much better. It had everything it needed. It had the immense amount of funding. It had top A talent, you know, Dennis Hopper, Bob Hoskins, John Leguizamo, Fisher Stevens. Oh gosh, I can't remember everybody right now, but you know, that kind of star power. So when you have, even our cinematographer was the one who won the Academy Award for Dancing with Wolves. So you just had star power people in every aspect, in every genre, you know, from stuntmen to soundmen, on and on. But I think what happened, it suffered because of the immense amount of people that kept going in and out as directors that kept messing with the script.
Right.
That's what I feel.
No, it's true. You know, it's more of my sister's story where we went to see it in movie theater, and as soon as he heard the Mario theme song, it's like, yeah, you know, the shit was gonna hit the fan. It was gonna be bad. I liked it, but he didn't like it. Personally, I thought the movie was a disaster because I liked the guy who did Koopa, you know, Bob and yeah, I remember the mattress scene. It's you were talking about the mattress this goes to flying by. I remember that.
Yeah.
And you were Princess Peach, right?
No, I was actually. There were a series of women that had been kidnapped.
Yeah.
All throughout, and I was Angelica, and I was from Queens because they were saying everybody was from Brooklyn. I'm like, no, I'm from Queens. It's just it's sad. It happens. You know, I did another movie with Blair Underwood, and that was directed by Tim Reed. Again, you had Michael Beach, Debbie Morgan. You had these stellar actors. Again, I think the movie, what it suffered from basically was the script. But you, as an actor, don't have any control of that. And a lot of times when you go to shoot, you don't even have the full script.
Yeah.
If you're working with a director's actor, like Tim Reed was, he gave the full script for people to read. You should at least read it 3 times before and you can work on your character and all that. And, you know, a lot of theater actors, that's what we've always been trained in, to dissect the script. And but a lot of times when you shoot a film, you may not even meet your co-stars till like the night before or when you're on set. And your rehearsal may be one walkthrough, if you're lucky, and then what you actually count as your rehearsals are actually the number of times that you shoot. So as you progressively reshoot the scene over and over again, you start hoping, oh my God, I hope they take the last, or I hope they take the last before one. That was a good one. But you never really want them to take the first one because you're warming up.
Yeah.
So you can only, as an actor, regardless of the state of the script, is for the moment that you're on there is to deliver a real performance and have that energy and that give with the person on screen. And then when they say it's a wrap, you're done, you just have to let it go. You just have to let it go.
No, absolutely. But what was, if you can talk about, what was the original script? What was the one that you wanted them to use?
Well, the original one that I got, it just was a lot funnier, and there were more scenes in it. And I think as certain people meddled with it and got rid of some of the funny stuff because they didn't comprehend it, they also then started eliminating scenes. And you have to understand, when writers put scenes in there, it's a symphony. There is a progression, and it then crescendos, and if you start to mess with the scenes, then you're going to start messing with the rhythm of the piece.
Right.
And sometimes, instead of having this great, ending, you might end up with a flat line. It's been so many years, I honestly don't even remember. I just remember being a little disappointed at the original script, but then again, you have to let it go. Everyone that was in there went on to do bigger and greater things. In fact, John Leguizamo just closed an amazing show, which was Latin History for Morons, which I wanted so much to get there because on top of all this, I'm a co-host for Click on This Show, which is online. And Johnny Alonso is also a co-host on there. We have a number of co-hosts. And the main creator of that is Elena Muscat. And Elena, God bless her, finally had her last cancer treatment. So a lot of the footage that I shot with major interviews is just sitting there unedited yet. We have to get it edited, but everything kind of got put on hold with her treatments. And one of the things that I had hoped to do, I had planned in one weekend to get an interview with John Leguizamo and have kind of like a little, reunion, Mario reunion, and put a scene of his new show and pump his new show. And then another friend of mine that I used to do theater work with, who is Joey Sorge, is appearing on The Bronx Tales. And that was co-directed with Robert De Niro and another director. And I thought, oh my God, I would love to get both these guys interviewed, just like you, we want those viewers. We want to give them something really phenomenal to watch. But it was just bad timing. And again, you don't have any control of that. So you can only hope that maybe it's not meant to be now, but further down, you'll reconnect with these people and it'll be even better next time. And you'll be able to get the footage that you want.
No, absolutely. We're going to take a quick commercial break. And when we come back, I'm going to pass the show over to you.
Oh, okay.
Very.
Arlene Schofield.
My name is Shireen Snow.
My name is Carla A. Miles.
Diana Camuto.
This is Christine Dunford.
I'm me, Ida.
Caroline Macy. This is Walker Fannin.
I'm Camille Dixon.
I'm Dates Fordham.
My name is Linda Preston, and you're watching the Keith Andrew Network.
Me, Mark Medley.
Hi everybody, this is Mark Neely.
Barry Babick.
This is Peter Bruno.
My name is Kyle Collier.
This is Julio Santiago, better known as Dynamite.
I'm Richard Epcar.
Orange Chow.
This is Kerrigan Mahan.
This is Goldar.
And we both support
Keith Andrew.
My name is Ron Wasserman, and I am supporting Keith Andrew and what he is doing, and you better do the same, or I'm going to come kick your ass.
Sure. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. This is the last 9 minutes and counting. I am your host, Keith Andrew. I'm here with the beautiful and talented Desiree, and we're passing the show over to you. But one more thing I do want to plug. If you guys are still interested in buying a kid's shirt, hoodie, it's also for men and women's. We can always work on the details, but if this is a kid-style hoodie, I keep saying hoodie, sweatshirt. It's a kid-style sweatshirt. But I do make hoodies, I do make hats, all great merchandise. Just contact me, and we can sit down and we can talk about it. With that being said, I'm passing the show over to you. Was there anything you wanted to know, talk about? This is your time, after all.
No, I'm just there to encourage anybody else that wants to go out and step out of their comfort zone or push the envelope. There was a job that I held for a number of years in Washington, and I was miserable because I felt that I had to do what the status quo felt. I felt that I had to be mature and I should give up, this dream of doing films and acting. You're never going to make any money. And then I started to realize, security is an illusion. You can do everything you can to the best of your power to create security. But if something's going to come and rock that boat and throw you overboard, it will. So my advice to you is, yes, be smart and think about security, but also think you could get hit by a bus tomorrow.
Yeah.
So while you're here, do what you want to do. You're only given one life. Why do you want to live it half-ass, mediocre, unhappy? You accomplish more when you're at your best, and your best is when you're happy. So I do believe in kind of the law of attraction. Call it faith-based. I do pray. If you have a higher power, pray. But also try to stay positive because it does attract other things. Life is not perfect. And I think a lot of people give up on whatever their higher power is because, God is not a genie. You don't grab something and rub it 3 times and he's going to give you the desires of your heart. That's just not what it is. But there are great things in life.
Right.
And in those little upsets, those reroutes that you have to take, like your GPS says rerouting, who cares? It's part of the ride. And when you get to your destination, wow. So don't let speech hold you back, weight hold you back, height hold you back, missing a limb holding you back, a lisp, anything, whatever you think is something that drags you down, make it your asset. Because it makes you different. So you can't be pigeonholed. You have something to offer. You're given gifts. You are blessed with gifts. There's a reason why you have them. Use them, and the rest will come. And it may not be at the speed that you want, but you know what? Rome wasn't made in a day. I may not be walking down a carpet right now with Oscar, but look at these women who in their 40s came out, and there was a number of them in the movie, it was The Help. Every single one of those women got nominated. Every single one of them are A-listers now. And look at where would they have been if they gave up and listened to the naysayers? So I may not be a star, but I tell you, for where I am geographically, I have managed to work with some of the most amazing people in the business. I've been blessed to actually have scenes, speaking roles as a co-star with John Seda, John Leguizamo, Bob Hoskins, Dennis Hopper, Fiona Shaw. I'm just trying to, may he rest in peace, Andy Griffith while he was still alive, Milton Berle while he was still alive. And those are people that as a child, my grandmother idolized. So when I told her I was on the set with these people, she was like, ah! I almost felt like I had a little bit of my grandmother with me. And of course, the current cast of Coffin 2. We have a number of people on there that have been on, television series and other films. So for me, that's a tremendous accomplishment. I mean, I started out as this girl in Brooklyn in a not so great neighborhood. And I have managed to study in England Shakespeare, and I have managed to go on set, again, Michael Beach, Debbie Morgan. It just goes on. Joey Sorge was now in a big musical, and he's a regular Broadway working actor. I would have never dreamt this back then. And I had a lot of people that really made me feel like I wasn't going to make it, or like I was too old, too short, the wrong shade. Screw them. I did, So, I still have to struggle, but, I'm still moving up at whatever rate it takes, and I'm happier. I'm happier now that I lost that job that I wasted 8 years of my life with. I'm happier now doing the acting and the face and body art. I have my own company now called Mystical Smiles, face painting and events. And I have a special relationship with Glory Days Grill. I have several restaurants where I paint at 3 and put several of my artists at other restaurants. We do corporate, we do birthday parties. I even got to do some face painting for TV. So, I'm happy.
Yeah, I would love to see some of your work.
Yeah, Facebook me, buddy. And you can see some of the photo. Well, I got your email now. I can send you some shots. So thank you so much again for having me. I have to sign off now because I do have somebody upstairs.
Right.
Okay. But I'm glad we finally got to do this, Keith.
Well, before you go, I do have a couple questions for you real fast. First one is, how can people follow you on social media? Are you on LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter? Are you on any of those?
I am on LinkedIn. And I'm on Instagram as only one Desiree Marie. I'm on Facebook, Desiree Marie Velez, Desiree Velez. My Instagram is great. I'm having a little issues with Twitter right now, so I haven't been on it. But also, IMBD, International Movie Database.com. If you go on there, you'll see all the past episodics, all the past movies I've been in, theater, and the latest Coffin 2, which was on Redbox and is now available on Amazon, Google Play, and iTunes, if you want to catch it.
No, absolutely. I do have a couple questions for you off the air, but my last question for you is wrapping up. When I first approached you to be a guest on my talk show, what was your first reaction and what made you say yes?
Because I was honored to be asked. I think creative people have to be very sharing. And if you're open enough to allow me to share something, then I'm open enough for you to be part of that process as well. I think that's what we're supposed to be here for each other.
No, absolutely. Hey, you help me, I help you. Well, wrapping up our interview segment, it was a real honor and privilege to have you as a guest. And I'm looking forward to part 2 down the road.
You got it.